Exam hall secrets. This video is about how you can tackle any examination question. Now, I welcome you again to the continuation of our series on examination success. In this particular video, we are going straight into the examination hall. That is the battlefield. All right. How do you approach questions? How do you manage time? And how do you maximize marks in an exam? So by the end of this video, you are going to come out with a very clear strategy on how you can handle any question like a pro. That's my goal. That's what I want to achieve. To help you to develop a strategy that you will be able to go into examination hall and answer any question like an expert. First things first. When you enter into the examination hall, the first 5 minutes makes or mars you. What you do in those first 5 minutes matters a lot when you enter into an examination hall. So here are the things you need to do when you enter into an examination hall. As you take your seat, humble yourself and pray. Every one of us needs help, especially God's help. So pray. Do breathing exercise. Breathe in deep and then breathe out. Then do it again, then do it again. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. The idea is for your nerves to relax. You calm your nerves. The second thing that is important is for you to not rush into answering questions. Immediately you see the one you think you know. No. Instead of doing that, scan through all the questions. It primes your brain and prepares your brain for what is coming. And then, because you have already seen all the questions, you can now make a wise choice as to which of them is going to give you the greatest mark. Most of the students fail not because they are not smart, not because they don't know the answer to the question. There is one problem that you must avoid if you are going to succeed in exam. Never misread the question. Ensure that you read the question and that you understand it correctly. If you misread the question, you are going to misanswer. It's as simple as that. You misread the question, you will miss the answer. So for you not to misread the question, you have to look out for certain words, certain phrasing, certain structures. Look at how the question is structured. Look at how the words that are used in framing that question. For instance, you may see the word discuss or explain. You may see the word evaluate. You may see the phrase critically analyze. Or you may see the word compare. Now, each of these words have big implications. because the way you answer questions where you are asked to discuss is not the way you answer question where you are asked to evaluate. For example, discuss agenda setting theory is not the same thing as critically evaluate agenda setting theory. It's not the same thing. Neither is it the same thing with explain agenda setting theory, nor is it the same thing as evaluate agenda setting theory. Now you get the point. So next time you see any of those words or things that are similar to them, you will be able to know exactly what to do. Now in exam hall, you may be asked to write, and the answer that is required of you may be an essay, or it may be a short answer, or it may be a multiple choice question. So how do you approach each of these? How do you approach each of these? For an essay question, I will give you the formula peel, as in peel an orange. When you peel something, you reveal what is covered, what is hidden. And that's exactly what this formula is going to do for you. P-E-E-L, peel. If you are given an essay question, your first paragraph should contain your main point. Explain your main points in your first paragraph. The next thing I need to do is to provide an evidence that will support that main point. When I have provided that evidence, then the next thing I need to do is to further explain how that agenda setting, for example, plays out in the society. And then finally, I'm going to link it up back to the question. So remember it, the formula or the method is called PEEL. P-E-E-L, PEEL. And that is reveal. Is that okay? So if you are able to do that, then you can be sure of your B, your A in the next exam. And when it comes to multiple choice questions, you can use the elimination method. And that means that when you see the question, let's say question 1, option A, B, C, D, you eliminate the answers that the options they are clearly wrong. You eliminate them. And most times you'll be left with only one standing, and that one standing is the correct answer. The other thing you need to do is to be careful with words like always, never, and only. They can be traps and to make you misread the question. So always, whenever you see it in a multiple choice question, pay very close attention. If you have done elimination and let's say 2 options are still there and you are not sure which of them is the 2 options, what are you going to do? Make an educated guess. Don't leave anything blank. Is that okay? Make an educated guess, an intelligent guess. Just do it. Now, for short answer questions, maybe questions where you're asked to provide the answer in 1 paragraph, provide the answer in 2 paragraphs, or in 1 sentence, provide the answer. So how do you tackle these kind of questions? Simple. If you are to answer a short answer question, the question requires short answer. What you do is you go straight to the point. No beating around the bush. No beating around the bush. No long stories. No long talk. Now, avoid long stories completely. Just sharp answer, straight to the point. Please take notes. One clear answer, one clear, sentence that explains the concept well is far better than 2 pages of rumbling. Is better than 2 pages of talking irrelevant talk. All right. The most important thing you need to know when it comes to short answer questions is that clarity is equal to mark. Clarity is equal to mark. So if your answers are clear, then your mark is guaranteed. Now, all of these things we talked about, let me try and summarize it with this story about a communication student, all right, who was asked to explain agenda setting theory with an example. Now, this particular student wrote like 3 pages talking about agenda setting, but there was another student also in that same hall, and that student just wrote one clear paragraph, just one paragraph. And in that one paragraph, the student explained agenda setting theory and then provided an example to support it. Remember, that's this E, evidence. So he provided the evidence and summed it up and submitted. At the end of the day, who do you think will gain the highest mark? Of course, the person who wrote in one paragraph with example. That's the person that answered the question. The first person did not answer the question. So you have to be very careful about all of these things. Let me give you this exercise. I like to practice because what you practice sticks with you. Take past question paper. Use PEEL, PEEL method to answer the question. What is it? Read the question, then on a plain sheet, state the main points, provide the evidence, give your explanation, and then link it back to, the question. After you have answered the question, ask yourself, have I answered the question? Have I, accomplished it? Very important. And this exercise is actually going to save you a lot of marks. It's going to save you a lot of marks in the exam hall. Because of that practice, you are already in the mood of going into the exam hall to win. So as we close, remember this. The exam hall is not your enemy. The exam hall actually is your stage. So step in to that hall with calmness. Understand the questions. Use the method PEEL that I have explained to you. Manage your time very well. Don't waste too much time in anyone that you clearly don't understand or clearly don't know. Finish with those ones you know, then you can return back to the one that you are not too familiar with. Is that okay? Now, say this to yourself. Say this to yourself. I am exam smart. I will read carefully. I will answer wisely. And I will succeed. I am exam smart. I will read carefully. I will answer wisely. And I will succeed. Is that okay? In the next video, we are going to look at mass communication exam essentials. quick tricks that you must know before you enter the hall. All right. So before you go, I ask you to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. Turn on the notification button. Share the video with your friend. Take the link and distribute it. Share it on WhatsApp platforms with your friends. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Telegram. Pull in as many students as possible. In fact, there is a playlist on this examination series. Just go to that playlist and then you can watch all the videos on examination series. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.